Hey, what's up y'all? I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thanks for coming back for yet another week. So as you guys know, this is primarily an educational channel. However, with the remnants of Tropical Storm Cristobal hitting me now here over by the Tampa Bay area, we have had rain for the last 4 days, and as I'm filming this here on Sunday morning, we're actually slated to have rain even for the next 3 days, so I haven't been able to get back out and do some of the filming that I had planned to do in the normal course of this channel. But what I decided to do was take a page out of the Wrangler Star book. I mean, he's got a couple million subscribers out of doing this, and do a really fun video based on me reviewing or testing the cheapest gas string trimmer available at my local Walmart. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put timestamps in the description below, and actually if you hover at the bottom of the video, you'll be able to see the different segments. For those of you that wanna skip through and don't wanna watch everything or listen to some of what you might consider my fluff and talking. And speaking of that fluff and talking, I wanted to come out here real quick and say the soundtrack that I chose for this particular video, to me it kind of feels like a rainy day, which is what I've been going through for the last week. But whenever I do use this kind of music, which is called lo-fi hip-hop or chill-hop, I get people that'll comment below and go, what's with the Prawn music, or why are you using Prawn music? Now I'm not sure why you'd be watching Prawn anyway and admitting it on the internet, but this is definitely not Prawn music, and if this is the kind of music they're playing in the Prawn that you're watching, you should probably stop watching that Prawn. Now as far as the trimmer goes, I hope that you're as surprised as I was at the outcome and the results after I used it here for a short time at my house. And so with that, let's break this thing out of the box and put it to the test. All right, so here it is. Please don't mind how messy the garage is. No matter what I do, I cannot keep this garage clean for more than 2 days. It's just a problem that I have. It's a flaw in my personality, okay? If I had a garage 10 times this size, it would just be 10 times as messy. So here it is right here, the Hyper Tough 2-cycle 16-inch grass trimmer. Recordadora de Cespad de 2 ciclos de 40.64 centimetros. So I just want to start here, you know, for you grammarians, hyper, that's a prefix that typically means exaggerated or even excessive. So this means this should be excessively tough. Now I wanted to pause here real quick. I always appreciate good iconography because it keeps you safe. So this here is telling you, hey, it's really important to read the Bible. This guy here is showing you how to twerk. This one here is talking about proper social distancing, and backing that up is this guy here wearing his face mask. Looks like his hairline's receding a little bit, but he is definitely wearing a face mask. These here are apparently the suggested dancing boots. And then never forget, pay your homage to Michael Jackson and have your one silver glove. Apparently something here was worth getting a patent for. Okay, now this is not a comparison video. This is my daily driver, the Echo PAS 225. The only reason I did this is because, interestingly enough, this is a great trimmer. This is a 21.2 cc engine. This is a 25 cc engine. So this theoretically has more cubic centimeters of displacement than this one. Now, tuning can be different and all that, but I just thought it was interesting to point out. This trimmer is obviously different. It has attachments and stuff that come with it, but the base tool without any weed whacker attachment or nothing is $189. This is $70. That's all I wanted to do, is just point that out. Real quick, another thing I'll point out though that stands out to me on this trimmer as a positive is that it takes 95 thousandths thickness of trimmer line. Most of your cheaper trimmers will not handle line that's this thick. So that's actually a positive for this, and it makes sense. It's coming out as a powerful, they're branding it as powerful, extra tough, that kind of thing. So thicker line is great because getting through, you know, thicker brush, thicker weeds, you know, meatier, beefier stuff is important. So that is something I was surprised to see, is that it can handle the thicker line at the 95,000s. One other thing too that used to never come on cheap trimmers, and you have to understand it's been several years since I bought a cheap trimmer, but this also does have bump feed. So, you know, that's a nice convenient feature. Now this plastic, you know, I don't want to say the word chinchy, but it doesn't feel beefy either. It feels like I can flex it just with my hand right there. So I don't know, you know, it's obviously glossed as well. And whenever something is glossed, I just don't get the feeling that it's tough, but I don't know how long that would actually last. This is not the AVE channel, so I can't tell you, you know, by looking at these numbers, like what kind of good, you know, plastic this is, but it definitely doesn't feel like it's reinforced with any kind of fiber or anything like that. It just, I don't know, doesn't feel that great. Doesn't feel that powerful. Now the top part of the head here, this does feel like it's reinforced with fiberglass. I can actually kind of see it in there. So this part of the head feels higher quality than the part that's actually the business end that's gonna be, you know, making contact with the ground. So I wouldn't be bumping this on concrete, that's for sure. We'll see how it actually works. Press 10 times. Okay, I did that. Move lever to 1. We're on 1. Squeeze throttle. Pull 5 times. Pull lever to 2. Pull 3 to 5 times to start engine. Holy cow. Wait 30 to 60 seconds. Move lever to 3. Wow. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 5. Move lever to 2. 2. Okay. Pull 3 to 5 times to start engine. Now, real quick, I just want to say, curved shaft is terrible. I've heard people say that curved shaft is better for short people. Listen, I'm 5'8", and that's on a good day. I'm short, and this is terrible for me. It's just not comfortable. I feel like constantly like I'm gonna fall over. I feel like I'm like almost bending the knee to the grass just to get down there, because you don't want to go in like this. You want to kind of keep it even. I don't know, it's just not good. And the reason is, here's the reason why curved shaft doesn't work. I mean, it feels like a kid's toy, number one. But number two is you want something that's an extension of your arms, and your arms are extending out. This is extending out and down. So it's just not, to me, it's not natural. It's not a natural feeling. Look at that, I gotta, you know, just doesn't work. So even though this is the cheapest string trimmer they have, I went ahead and got the straight shaft too. So this is $70. If you get the straight shaft, same Hyper Tough, 25cc. If you get the straight shaft, it's $93, $90. I'll show you on the screen. So like $20 more. So let's look at that one though, because I think that's gonna be a little better comparison. But again, more money. Somebody on a tight budget, I'm gonna recommend to you that if you really are pinching your pennies that much, wait another 2 weeks and save the extra 20 bucks and get the straight shaft. So let's take that one out and let's put that one through the paces. So I figured I would show you this here. You can see that the Extra Tough, even the straight shaft, is quite a bit shorter than the Echo that I'm used to. So maybe that's one way they save money. You know, that's an extra foot of material there that they're leaving out. You know, obviously the head, not near as beefy. This is a speed feed head though. We're gonna take a look at how it is to load the line in a minute, because that's a big deal. Same cheap feeling plastic here on the bump. So the curved shaft, I mean, it just goes right into the head here. This has this knuckle that appears to be, I don't know, zinc. I don't know those things. But this just appears to be more beefy. Maybe there's some gearing in here or something like that. So maybe that will give it a little bit more torque. and take advantage of that full 25 cc's that's sitting up there in the head. Okay, now some of you are really going to appreciate the level of detail in this next part. And even if you don't, I bet you'll learn something. So this is my Echo trimmer that I typically use, and this is the Hyper Tough. Now, both the Hyper Tough straight and the curved are the same thing. And what I want to point out here is that the Spin-a-majiggy spins clockwise on the Hyper Tough, and the Spin-a-majiggy spins counterclockwise on my Echo. Now that's important for two reasons. The most important is, how do you feel comfortable holding your trimmer? And I'm gonna explain that in a minute, but I need you to make sure you get that. There's a certain way that I like to hold my trimmer, and I'm willing to bet that most of you righties are very similar in the way that it feels comfortable to hold the trimmer when you trim. The second piece of that comes into, do you want to walk forwards or backwards when you're trimming around flower beds? Because that matters as to if you're gonna throw clippings into the flower beds or not, which you typically don't wanna do. All right, so here's some things I'm noticing right away with it. This one, the head also spins clockwise. Now, I'll go into this a little bit more. Because I'm right-handed, that means my preference is to have my right hand on the trigger and my left hand on the handle to steer, so to speak, right? So it's more comfortable for me when I weed whack to weed whack with the unit across my body like this, right? So I can kind of handle things this way. So what that means is then, with a clockwise spinning head that spins this way, I have to walk forward when I weed whack so the clippings are kicked out into the lawn. If I walk backwards, then it cuts them here on this point, what you would call the, 9 o'clock over here, and it kicks them into the bed. Now, typically I don't mind walking forward. I actually prefer to walk forward, but this is too short. When I walk forward, I literally want to be able to stand up straight and walk forward, but you can see I'm not anywhere near the ground, and I'm a short guy. So what that means is I actually have to bend over to get this to the ground because it's too short. And so that means I'm doing this. I'm falling forward. And that's why you see it digging in when I'm falling forward. Right there. Wow. So what that does is it makes this a bad design for right-handers. Now, if you're a left-hander, you can do this and you'd be fine, but that's a very small piece of the market. The design of this makes it really difficult to trim around edges if you don't want stuff going into your beds. Okay, and just to put a bow on this, in case you missed it, it doesn't really matter if you walk forward or backward. I personally don't care. I used to walk forwards and now I've learned to walk backwards. The difference being, this Hyper Tough is so short that walking forward, it makes me have to lean forward and I feel like I'm falling forward. And that's a flaw in the design. That pretty much ends it right there for me. And you guys have to realize, I've said this before and I'll just keep saying it, I'm short. I'm 5'8". If you're 5'10" or 6 foot, like probably most of you are, I don't know how you would use this. You'd be bent over, like majorly bent over, trying to trim and walk forward to keep the clippings out of your beds. All right, next quick little test. I'm gonna check the bump feed. I'm just gonna do that real easy by wearing the line down here on a sidewalk and then seeing how it goes from there.
Yeah, already got a little wear and tear on there, but...
Okay, now let's just pretend that I ran out of line and I need to replace it. Because this is one of the things that brings me the most anxiety when it comes to string trimming. And literally, I mean, I'm a DIYer, so once I put a spool on, I mean, I only have to change it once every couple of weeks. And that's if I'm really aggressive. But still, it's one of those things that memory, that lasting memory of the stress of changing the line, if it's hard, it sticks with you and it'll actually make you hate your equipment. At least it does for me. So let's just see. All right, so here is the unit, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but can you see these kind of indentations down in here? Can you see those? If not, I'll do a still photo, but there's two of them right there. And then when you turn the head over here, it says, I need my glasses for this, rewind line, and then there's an arrow pointing that way. So what that's basically telling me is that I have to hitch these in here like this and then wind this way like this. Now I've got two pieces of twine that I've already cut that are the same length. Yeah, I think that's about all she's gonna hold, Captain. Well, let's see, how do I hold that? Maybe I should have done them both together. Well, let's just see. All right, so here goes the other one. I'm guessing. I haven't watched any YouTube videos on this or read the instructions, which I might do if this doesn't work, but I think I just feed that one through that hole. Oh boy. Stay tight. Oh boy. Yeah, this is not looking too good. Okay, I got them tightened back up. Got that on there. I think that might do it. Let's see. Let's hope for the best, for sure. There we go. Okay. Maybe? All right, let's see. Alright, so let me give you guys some final thoughts here. The first thing is, definitely do not buy the curved shaft. Look at even how much shorter that is. I just cannot find a scenario where a curved shaft trimmer, especially this one, would be an advantage to anyone. Now maybe some of y'all can tell me in the comments below, because I don't want to crap on you if this is what you like. Tell me why, because I just, for me, I don't see a reason why a curved shaft would be worth it. So, like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you're really tight for budget, just wait a couple weeks or a couple months or however long it would take you to save the extra 25 bucks and do that and get the straight shaft. Now, to this, the thing about it is it's got so much power. It's got plenty of power. This thing, I mean, I had wet St. Augustine grass that's overgrown and you saw me powering through it. It was fine. It didn't bog down. It didn't, none of that. However, and I don't know anything about electronics and how power and electronics is controlled. But what I get the feeling with this thing is it's too powerful. And when I say that, it's uncontrolled power. It's all balls and no brains. I feel like my Echo, when it hits a tough patch, it powers through, but it doesn't just break through it, you know? What it seems to do, and I don't know if there's some sort of, what is the word, commutator? I watch too much AVE and like to use words I have no idea what they mean, but some sort of brain box that tells it it's under load, so you don't power back and just burst through it. What you do is you kind of add more torque, not as much RPM. I don't know what I'm trying to say here is, but this thing, that's why sometimes it'll bite in, is because it's just plowing through everything, whereas the Echo seems to be more intelligent about when it's under load, and it kind of powers through equally or evenly or methodically. I don't know the term, but, and again, some of you guys that understand electronical things, please tell me down below. So that's the one thing. It's a lot of power. Now that's not a reason not to own it if you're somebody that's looking for an entry level. I'm just letting you know this thing powers through hardcore. The bump feed worked very well, and especially after I changed the line. I thought it was going to be difficult to change the line, and I know probably in the editing I made it look that way, but it wasn't. It wasn't that hard at all. That took me like 4 minutes to do that, so not difficult at all. But one of the things I've had happen to me in the past is after I changed the line, for some reason the bump feed just doesn't work anymore because I don't wind it right or whatever. I didn't have that problem, and that might be part of the reason that it uses the 95 thousandths thicker line. This is easier to handle than the thin stuff that can get twined and curled up and all that, which again, this is another positive, that even on this lower end or less expensive trimmer that it uses the thicker line. So positive there, bump feed works great, and it isn't that hard to wind. The biggest drawback though, and I know I mentioned this before, is how short it is. I don't know if that's how they save money on it or what, but I'm telling you, I think that would be frustrating for anybody that's much taller than me. Again, if you're on a budget though, then you're just gonna have to deal with a little bit of back pain, I guess, or maybe if you don't have that much trimming to do, then it wouldn't be a big deal. I definitely don't like that. The spinning of the head, clockwise, counterclockwise, remember, you know, I was facing you when I did it, but anyway, that's just a matter of preference. So if this is your first trimmer, you'd have no idea walking forward, walking back, or whatever. You just make it work, you get used to it. I just wanted to go to that level of detail for those of you that do care about that kind of thing. Now, last thing I just want to point out, this is definitely not sponsored, in case that wasn't clear. This is made by MTD, and from what I can tell, it's made exclusively for Walmart. I don't know if they spec it out or what they do, or if MTD makes it and sells it to Walmart as an exclusive. I'm not sure how that works, but MTD makes that. So they make a lot of different trimmers, and so what could happen is you could run into a lot of trimmers that have these exact same features, some of the same shortcomings, but also some of the same positives made by MTD. So that would be something you may want to research before you go out to look at a lower end or entry level gas trimmer. On a quick note to Walmart and MTD, if you guys want to have a complete winning product, and again, I think 93 bucks for this is worth it. I will say that right now. This is definitely worth $93. I don't know what kind of longevity you're going to get out of this, but it does have a 2-year warranty on it, and I don't see Walmart being the kind of, you know, store that would refuse a warranty or refuse you to take something back. I think Walmart is actually known to take things back, even if things might be on a little bit of a shady side. So that's a good thing buying from a store like a Walmart. So I think you'd do fine with this, and I would endorse this for the $93. That seems like a good value for what you're getting here. But MTD, Walmart, if you want to have a real winner here, add the extra 12 inches of length to the shaft here. Your customers would definitely appreciate that. And I know there's a joke I could tell there, but I want to keep it clean for this. So I'm just saying, add that extra 12 inches and you guys would have a real winner here. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you like this kind of stuff, if you want me to do more reviews like this, please let me know. And I would really appreciate it if you leave a like on the video and share it with your friends. As always, I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the lawn.